Steve, how do you assess that overall, and in particular the pitch, given it's the big talking point?
Yeah, I mean, tough loss in the end. I thought England came out today and played some really good cricket. They got the ball in the right areas and, dismissed us. And then I thought the way they started with the bat was good. Obviously, they were really aggressive, tried to break the back of the reasonably small chase on a tricky wicket, and they got off to a bit of a flyer. And a couple of their sort of heavy blows softened our seam quite a bit, and probably didn't offer quite as much as it had for the rest of the game after that. So credit to them. In terms of the wicket, obviously it was a tricky one. 36 wickets over 2 days, probably offered just a little bit too much. As it's tough as a groundsman. I think he's always looking for the right sort of balance, I suppose. Last year's wicket was an outstanding one. Went to day 5 last session, and in an ideal world, every wicket does that, and it's exciting for everyone. But maybe if you took it from 10 to 8, it would have been a nice challenging wicket, but maybe a little bit more even, I suppose. But groundsmen are always learning, and you'll probably take something from that, no doubt.
Alex, do you have any sense of why? Because you had talked in the lead up about preparing something very similar to last year. Do you have any sense of why he left a little bit more?
No, I'm not sure. We let them judge it and do what they see fit. And I said before the game, it looked like it was probably going to offer a fair amount. That's why we didn't play a spinner. Probably did a little bit more than we thought it was going to do, but you still got to find ways to adapt. And if we get 50 or 60 more runs across both innings, then could be a different result in the end.
Yeah. How many of the wickets do you think were from the pitch, and how many do you think were just poor shot making?
Oh, you're testing me now. I can't even remember, to be honest. I haven't really digested it quite yet. It was tricky, as we saw. Inside of 2 days, 36 wickets indicates that it's a pretty tricky wicket. So I don't know the answer to what you've just said.
Is it the toughest wicket you've had to play on, do you think, in Australia?
There's been some tricky ones, I think, over the last 4 or 5 years, particularly with the new ball. It wasn't easy, as you could see, but we've played on quite a few tricky ones.
Steve, would you be able to explain what your plan was with that in this test, and whether you elevated your risk profile and how you approached it?
It's something that we could probably talk about now. I think the guy with the most success on that wicket was probably Harry Brook. Running down the wicket, playing some kind of rogue shots, I suppose, and trying to get the bowlers off their lengths that way, I suppose. Whether we could have been a bit more proactive potentially and played a few more of those. That's something we'll talk about. But in the end, it's also a tricky one to do that. You want to try and dig in for your team sometimes, and if we were able to just extend a couple of those partnerships, then maybe the ball would have got a bit softer and played a little easier. We never really got to that point in the game, both teams getting bowled out inside of 50 overs, I suppose, so it never really got to the point where it got soft and potentially would have been easier to bat. So it's a tricky one, and you always weigh up whether you should have gone harder or you should have reined it in, or different things, and everyone's different the way they go about it as well. What's that, sorry?
On either side of the test, like, do you have a view on that?
A lot of the wickets we're playing on now, I think spin has been it's the easiest thing to face on some of these wickets that are offering a lot of seam. It's almost to the point where why would you bowl it when you could leak 30 or 40 runs quickly if they decide to play positively, and the game shifts immediately. We've seen, obviously, the stadium, Perth Stadium, we've barely bowled spin, I think, 2 overs maybe. We didn't bowl a spinner in the pink ball test, and last week was obviously a different one. It was quite a dry surface and offered some rough, which was a nice wicket. And then this one, yeah, spin didn't look like getting a chance to bowl. So I don't know whether it's, something that can be spoken about. I love seeing spinners play a part in the game, but right now, why would you?
Mel here on the right.
So Steve, I'm not going to ask you about the specific wickets, but I guess if you could rank what was the biggest reason for, the reason we saw so many wickets, it's like the pitch, the bowling, or the choices of the batters, or what the batters did. But also, does a pitch, when it's like that, do you think it got into the heads of the batters a little bit, just when they had seen what some of the balls were doing, and that maybe made a bit of a difference?
Yeah, I mean, probably all of the above that you said. It was a tricky surface to bat. I mean, you're watching before you go into bat and you see balls moving as far as they are, and you try to formulate a game plan at that stage of how you're going to go about it. And then you get out there and you feel it, and it's like, wow, these are going a fair way as well. Some are going straight and some are seaming 2 degrees. So it's not easy. You try and adapt as well as you can, and England did it better than us at the end of the game.
Steve, England haven't won a test match in Australia since I think January 2011.
Mhm.
So you've been able to keep them in Australia for a long time. Is it disappointing that streak is over, or can you kind of disregard it given that it was such a, I suppose, great kind of pitch or match or
Oh, I mean, yeah, we'd love to win every game and keep every streak going, but yeah, like I said, England, I think, played really well today. We probably controlled, I suppose, the first half of the game, or yesterday, and then they came back into play today and took the game away from us. Particularly the way Crawley and Duckett started, they got them off to a flyer and broke the back of the chase, I suppose, and softened the ball, as I said before, which made a big difference. But we try to win every game we can, so that's as much as I can really say.
the only other thing I was going to ask was just about, I think Scott Holland come in and batting until it was the 11th over. Did you think about either giving him the new ball or throwing him in a little bit early?
Yeah. In hindsight, could have potentially bowled him a couple overs from the end Nessa was bowling. Scotty typically likes bowling from the end where he was operating, where Starkey was as well. Has quite a heavy wind, and he's obviously one of our strike bowlers. It's something I'll think about. I was thinking it out there, and then I kind of changed my mind, but could have potentially bowled him a little bit earlier.
We've about half a dozen more here, guys, so we'll get to everyone starting correct.
Steve, just like when a test match goes so quickly as it did even yesterday, just to adjust the tempo and just the reading of the game, like what's a good score, what's not a good score, like how do you adapt to it, like as captain and as also as batter?
Yeah, you try and play what's in front of you. You also never know, it could flatten out at any point as well, and stop moving around, and you got to sort of think about those things, but ultimately you try and play what's in front of you to the best of your ability, and I think, as I said before, if we could have eked out another 50 or 60 runs across both of those innings, then we might have been on the other side of it.
Tom?
A couple of experienced players in Marnus and Smith, just England not having the series they would like at the moment. What convinced you to beat them, and how do you assess what they've sort of worked on in the last 4 tests?
Yeah, I mean, it's not been easy. I think, start with Marn, I think obviously he got dropped, went back to Shield cricket and demanded selection, really. Scored a mountain of runs, and he probably hasn't had the output that he's wanted in the last couple. He played some really nice innings in the first 2 tests. He got over 50, I'm pretty sure. And then, last couple he's obviously missed out, but that's the game. Greeny, again, he's had a few nice starts as well, just hasn't been able to go on with it and get the results I suppose he's been after. But, we know he's a quality player. He's done it against some good oppositions in the past, and, hopefully he can turn it around.
Can I ask
Sorry,
you,
sorry.
who is it?
No, you can look on something.
Who's talking?
You go.
I was just going to ask about Josh Tongue, and he's obviously played in the match here. You faced him a few times. I'm just wondering, what are the kind of questions that he asks batter, and what makes him kind of different to other bowlers?
Yeah, he bowled nicely. Thought he bowled nicely last week as well. Kind of gets obviously above the perpendicular, shapes the ball back into you with that angle and sort of draws you into play, I suppose. Similar to Scotty Boland in a way. Similar release points in a way and angles they create. So, good bowler. Bowled really nicely this game, and I think he's done a pretty good job every time he's had the opportunity to play for England.
Steve, you've lost in 2 days here, but you also won in 2 days. And Perth is bad for the finances. Cricket Australia, that, but is it bad for Ashes cricket as well to see games disappear so quickly like that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously finances aren't great. I think it was a sellout tomorrow if we got there. So, disappointing for those that, wanted to come along, but happens sometimes in cricket. It goes quick. A lot of the tests, regardless of the wicket, kind of been played in fast forward. The way both teams have been playing with the bat quite aggressively and getting scores quickly. But this one over in 2 days, not ideal. It would be good if it, was a little bit longer and we were able to entertain some fans a bit more, but it wasn't to be on this occasion.
Steve, what did you make of Jai Richardson's return, and does it appear as if he got through well on a fitness point of view?
Yeah, I think fitness fine. I thought the back end of today, it looked like he got a bit of that rhythm back and, started to get some balls in the right area and, ask some questions. I think first innings, it was tough running into that wind. Someone has to do it. We got Scotty Boland and Starkey operating at one end, and Ness and Jai had to do the tough work, probably up the hill into the wind. So someone's got to do it, and he's probably not used to bowling into the wind too often. When he plays for WA, he's probably the main bowler. He gets the best of the conditions, I suppose, in terms of whatever he wants. But someone's got to do it, and unfortunately it was him. But like I said, I thought he got some nice rhythm towards the end there.
Second 2 days test of the series, how did playing on this pitch compare to the one in Perth?
What was that question, sorry?
How did the pitch here compare to the one in Perth?
What happened in Perth? Well, I think the first day and a half, it looked in Perth quite fast and bouncy. And then the boys that batted, Travis and Marnus at the back end, said it flattened out and was playing pretty nicely. This one, it probably started quite slow and not it's hard to explain, not tennis bally. Normally that's from like the moisture of the wicket. I think because of the thickness of the grass, the ball was just sitting in the grass, if that makes sense to you. Like I felt in the first innings a couple, I almost like chipped one to mid-on, playing a defensive shot that just sort of sat in the grass, and it was tricky to drive the ball because of how much it was, the seam was just catching the grass and it was stopping. That was probably the two differences. I think both offered a fair amount of seam.
Steve, just on what you were talking about, England's openers softening the ball up.
Yeah.
Did you feel that was more from like the impact of bat on ball or ball hitting LED boards? What was the...
All of the above. They obviously played some shots where they hit the ball pretty hard, and then I think Zach, I reckon, hit one into the LED boards, and definitely softened the seam, no doubt about it. But credit to them for doing that.
Last one, right up the back here.
Is the bowler's expertise with the wobble seam providing a new and sort of difficult challenge for batsmen, especially in these sort of conditions?
I don't think it's new. I think it's been around for a while now. I think our boys have done it for quite some time. It's nothing new, but it definitely creates a challenge. The ball seems to react differently to when it's just bolt upright, I suppose. Can go both ways and really challenge you as a batsman.
Thanks, everyone.